What is going on, everybody? My name is Jay. This is Unplayable, and I'm here with Mike, the Rebel Spy.
All right, so my side of the audio didn't quite work, so I'm going to be recording this after the fact, and I'll try to explain my plays and my thought processes, and hopefully it'll still be interesting.
And some big news has dropped this week. Lorcana rules have been spoiled. So what we're going to do today is precisely that, is show you guys what this game plays like. We went over the rules, we did a practice game, and we built our very first Lorcana decks. So we can show you how this game's cadence is, what it feels like, what the win condition is, and how general play of this game is gonna feel as you get it yourself. So we can go ahead and get right into it. I'll talk about my deck and you'll talk about yours. These are our first Lorcana decks, so they're probably trash. We also only have like 40 cards spoiled of the game, so there's not that much to pick from. But let's go ahead and get into it. I am playing a gray and yellow, I can't even remember, steel and amber, I think is what it's called, deck where my sole focus is going to be building around Hades, King of Olympus, which I think is just like, ever since I saw this card, I was like, this is going to be my first deck, 100%. I got to build around this guy, he's so cool, which, like, I enjoy the aspect of them creating these, like, off like script characters that are like multiversal or whatever. But basically what his ability is, he's huge. He's got 6 attack, 7 defense. He's an 8 power dude, but he has +1 lore for every other villain in play. So first thing I did, I went through all of the different colors to see how many villains existed for each one. And unfortunately, there's only 2 villains in each. So then I was like, well, let's just pick the one that feels the most right, that I feel like I relate to in terms of playstyle. And I went with gray, which is steel. And I have 2 versions of Captain Hook. And then we also have the original Hades, which the new Hades can shift into, which is a mechanic where you basically play it on top of the previous one for a cheaper cost. And then fire cannons is a damage from hand card. There's not a ton of removal cards so far, so it felt like it would be a really good tool to be able to remove 4 health or 2 health characters. 4 health because I can play it, then I can play Captain Hook to get it back with his ability, and then play it again. So that's kind of the general premise that I build off of, and then the rest of the deck is just kind of solid role players and good value cards. So that's it for my deck. What you got over there, Mike? What kind of stank you cooking up in the kitchen?
So I built a blue and red deck. We have a decent amount of spoilers, well, not a decent amount, but of what we have so far, there's a pretty good amount of red and blue cards compared to the other ones. My plan was to make some kind of ramp deck. I wanted to utilize the sort of expensive red cards like Aladdin, Mickey, Maleficent, and see what the big, powerful, sort of like, I don't know, Timmy cards can do. And so to supplement that, pair them with blue because blue has some ramp in it so that you can play those sort of big, expensive cards faster. So that was kind of my strategy. Also, blue and red lets you play 2 of what I think are pretty good, pretty interesting action cards in Dragonfire and Let It Go. Both able to just deal with whatever threat you need to deal with at any given time. One cheeky thing that you can do with Let It Go is potentially do it on your own cards to ramp yourself up even faster. It's definitely an edge case, but something that I think is really cool about that card. So we'll see if it works, and I'll catch you guys in the gameplay.
All right, you ready to shuffle up and play? All right, so we don't want to have all 3 Captain Hooks in the starting hand, so we're going to go ahead and put 2 of them back. Having 1's not bad. Having a 1 cost is going to be awesome to be able to play on turn 1. Gantu is a super powerful character. His ability is characters with cost 2 or less can't challenge my characters, but I don't want him early because he's going to be tough to play. Having 2 4 costs is not terrible. Having a 1 cost and a 3 cost, and having 1 4 cost, I think feels good. I might even put Captain Hook back, but because I don't have his his powder kegs yet. So I'm putting all 3 back in hopes that I might draw one early that I can use, and then draw into him after I've drawn one and used one. So I feel good about this mulligan. We're gonna put those back and draw back up. Okay, that is interesting to say the least. All right, so we got 2 Hades, we got 2 healing glows, we got Hercules. Hercules is awesome. This is not gonna be great early, so this is gonna be an ink card for us. So if you don't know how the game plays, basically every turn you're gonna draw a card, and then every turn you have the option of putting one down as a mana, or an ink in this case is what it's called, but it's basically mana. And mana is what's used to play your cards. Top left has the cost of cards on it. But if it doesn't have this little swirly around the cost, then you can't play it as an ink. So Hades can't be played.
Drawing my opening hand here, and I immediately really like what I see. So we've got Mulan plus a bunch of cheap cards. And it's not something that I talked about in the sort of deck construction part of the video. I was sort of considering the Mulan sort of angle, maybe a bit of a sub-theme of the deck, just because, you know, there are only a certain number of red and blue cards. I didn't know if I'd have enough sort of cheap cards to go along with Mulan to make it worthwhile, but the hand that I've drawn is really interesting. So I've got the Mulan, then I've got 2 flounders. They each cost 1. I've got a couple other 4 cost cards which I can play before the Mulan, but I think what I do here is probably get rid of basically everything that's not the flounders, the Mulan, and I may keep that Maleficent that's on the far right. I don't remember if I do or not. I think I probably would, because it's a really strong statted unit, and you can obviously play it before Mulan, which is quite good. I think I toss back the 1 jump ahead, which is the ramp card. I'm, you know, in this game going for a more wide strategy, and so probably don't need to ramp as aggressively because of the opening hand that I drew. So I think that's what I end up doing, is putting those 3 cards on the right back and drawing 3 more to replace them. And this is pretty wild, I think. So we get Donald Duck to fill out the 2-drop slot. Then we get Mickey Mouse, which can ramp us to 5. So I think the curve is probably like, you know, on turn 1, play Flounder, turn 2, play Donald Duck, turn 3, play Mickey, turn 4, because you'll have 5 resources, play Maleficent and Flounder. And then turn 6, and then turn 5, play Mulan and start generating value from her. So we're going to roll to see who goes first here.
Good old Stink.
Jay comically rolls a 1, and I think I beat him. Yep, so I roll a 2, and I am deciding whether to go first or second. I think I'm actually considering going second, because then the higher chance that like maybe they have something that Mulan can attack into. But I figure by that time in the game, they already have stuff on the board. I already have stuff on the board. I'd rather just like get the tempo and the initiative and go first.
So, while Mike's thinking up the room with his stanky breath about what kind of garbage he's playing, my plan: Healing Glow, Ink, Stitch, play. Easy plays. All
right, so on my first turn, definitely planning on just playing Flounder, and the card on the right, which is the card draw card. I don't remember exactly what it's called. I think I'll probably zoom in on it now. Maybe not. But that one, probably not going to need to play that anytime soon. So we're going to put that into our Inkwell and just play Flounder, get out ahead.
And here comes his Flounder. Of course, he draws his 1-coster Flounder on the first turn of the game, huh?
Try and put as many units or characters on the board as possible before Mulan comes down. That's my entire goal at the beginning of this game.
Okay. All right, I draw a card. All right. What did you put in your Inkwell, by the way? You gotta announce it. Develop your brain. Okay. I'm putting a Healing Glow into my Inkwell, and I'll use it to play a Stitch. Just a solid 1 cost, 2/2, 1 lore. Same as Flounder. That's it. I'm done. What you got for me?
All right, so this turn, I'm pretty sure that we're going to play Donald, depending on what we draw. But yeah, so another 5-cost card. We'd rather play Mulan with the hand that we have. I'm going to bank that card and then play Donald Duck. And I think probably what I'm thinking about here is like, is there any world in which we actually play Aurora? I think probably not, because Mulan just works with the hand that we have so much better. And so, yep, I put that in my inkwell and played Donald Duck. And I think I made debate here whether or not to quest with Flounder. But I think I probably do. If he trades into my Flounder with his Stitch, I have a really easy attack or challenge, I guess, into his Stitch with my Donald Duck. So the goal is to just, get as much lore as possible early, so that when I do play Mulan in that mid game, like I can sort of like really aggressively sort of work towards my win condition.
Ooh. This is kind of cool. Pay 1 less for the next character you play this turn. And it's basically like it binds all things. I kind of like that. And I don't even have a 2 cost that I can actually play at the moment. So it kind of makes me want to put this down. You can have any number of the same character on the field as far as we know, by the way. So like I could have 2 of the same Hades. Alright, I'm gonna put another healing glow into my inkwell, and then I'm gonna use 2 to play lantern. So I can choose to attack Donald. I mean, not attack Donald. I could choose to gain 1 lore, but Donald is a 2/3, so he could just challenge and survive with Donald and remove my Stitch. So I'm thinking keeping Stitch around might be more valuable to me than a trade right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass my turn on over.
All right, so Jay decides not to do anything with Stitch because I think he doesn't want to get attacked by Donald Duck. He's a spicy duck. So on my turn, just gonna ready and draw. We're gonna put the Maleficent into the inkwell because it costs 9. We're probably not gonna get there, especially with this hand. So still sort of going down the path that I laid out. We're gonna play that Mickey.
Here we go. Here comes the stink.
It's going to put a card from the top of my deck into my inkwell. And so next turn, my plan is to play Flounder and Maleficent, depending on what I draw. And here we're just sort of gathering more of that lore, up to 3 now.
All right. Okay. Very nice. I'm going to draw my card. Okay. So we got a crucial card here. Now we just gotta wait for the perfect time to play it. Okay, so we're actually gonna put one of these Tinkerbells down into the inkwell. Unfortunately, we don't have a 2-coster, 2 2-costers, or a 3 and a 1 cost to be able to take advantage of Lantern efficiently, but that's fine. What we're gonna do here is we're actually going to use a Lantern to pay 1 less for the next character I play, and we're gonna pay 2 to put out a Hercules, and I'm gonna go ahead and let him be exhausted. Since he has bodyguard, you'll have to challenge him before you can challenge anyone else. I'll use Stitch to gain 1 lore, and I will pass the turn on over to you, Coach.
All right, so readying, drawing my card. It's another Aurora, 5-cost Aurora. I think, sort of the question is, okay, now I have 3 sort of lines that I can take in this turn. I don't think the Aurora is the right way to go. I know that he may have the Fire the Cannons card, so the ward is potentially interesting. But I think just getting sort of more total number of characters onto the board before Mulan comes down is probably the way to go. So I am banking that Aurora, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to play the Maleficent and the Flounder here. So let's see. Yep. So 4 resources to pay for that, and then 1 to pay for the flounder.
Oh, here we go. Ramping. Straight ramping.
And I'm also pretty sure I just sort of quest with the rest of the 3 characters. I'm not really interested in interacting with his side of the board at the moment. I feel like I'm already pretty ahead, so it's sort of on him to deal with what I'm presenting.
Not looking good, guys. Not looking good. All right. We'll ready on up. Draw us a card ED. Ooh, that's spicy. That right there, spicy. All right, so play that. Boom, boom. Play that. We're in business, right? Okay, so we're gonna put a Tinkerbell down into our inkwell here. We're gonna use 2 to play a lantern. The value. What we're actually gonna do here is we're going to use Stitch to trade with Flounder. I'll double lantern and pay 2 for a Hades and return Stitch to my hand.
So not a huge fan of that exchange. I just want more stuff for my Mulan, but I get it. He's mostly doing it to gain value off of his Hades because he, otherwise wouldn't be able to return something from his discard pile because he wouldn't have anything.
Now this guy's a 3/3. Huh. Yeah, we'll take out Donald. It's too much of a threat. Donald is just, it's too much. And then that'll be the end of my turn. Good sir. Thank you.
All right, so drawing Let It Go. I'm debating on whether or not that's worth putting into my inkwell. I think I am going to make that decision later. So right now, just going to exhaust my resources and play Mulan. She doesn't really have a big impact on the board right when she enters play, but it definitely threatens a lot of lore. So on my next turn, I'm going to be able to use her and see if I can, really get ahead. So I think here I'm debating on like what to use. Like do I quest with these? Do I challenge this guy to his Hercules? And I think what I end up doing is sort of like realizing that the only like good trade for me is if I only allow him to attack my Maleficent, because she's a 3/4. Both of his other characters only attack for 3. He would have to, at least on board, attack into my Maleficent with both of his characters in order to remove her from play. The Flounder and the Mickey are like definitely more vulnerable, so I'm considering saving those until next turn when I can sort of gain extra value off of them with Mulan. And it's almost the same thing as if I were to quest with them this turn, except that they're not vulnerable. Maybe there's no the argument to questing with them and forcing him to attack them instead of something else, or not forcing him but making them sort of enticing targets. But I think I probably am just exhausting and questing with Maleficent here, because she does also gain 2 lore, which is great.
So what I'm thinking here, next turn, I'm going to have 4, 5, 6 value. Depending on what we draw, it's going to be pretty important here, I think. So what I'm thinking, if he doesn't kill Hercules, I'll be able to use Hercules, play Hades, and get him back. And then I could potentially play Hercules again. The other option here is if he does kill Hercules, I can play Hades and get him back without having to use him first. And then we're so close to being able to play the big Hades right now because we're at 4 ink and then 2 lanterns.
The one thing I do like in hindsight about questing with all of them is that, like, maybe he can ignore Maleficent and do literally nothing on his turn and not leave something open for me to attack it with Mulan, but I didn't end up doing that. I think there's an argument to that, though.
All right, I'll ready on up and draw a card. Okay. So, what is she at? 4? I'm fine with that. We're gonna use Hercules to challenge Maleficent. We'll double lantern and play, use 2 inks to play at Hades and grab Hercules back. And then we're going to use 1 to play a Stitch. And then we'll quest with this one. Gain 1. And that is it for me.
So I love seeing him quest with that Hades. It means that I get to attack it with Mulan and turn her ability on, which is going to net me a bunch of lore.
So I could have been a little more efficient. I probably could have played, instead of playing Hades, I could have played a Kristoff and a Hercules.
So I draw into Belle, which pretty good card it seems.
Oh, I forgot to play an ink that turn. That's my bad.
All right, so here I'm going to attack his Hades with my Mulan, take his Hades off the board, and trigger her ability so that I can gain, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lore this turn, I think, going up to 15.
OP.
So I'm going to go up to 15 lore, which is only 5 away from winning.
Oh my goodness. 15 out of 20 already.
And here we go, up to 15.
Craziness.
And I think here I'm probably going to debate whether or not to put Belle into my Inkwell, or whether I'm going to just play her. I think if I had more 7 cost cards in my deck, I might sort of put her in the Inkwell instead. But I think I'm just trying to put more pressure on the board, and so just playing her is the best way to do that.
I've 100% made a mistake there. 1, should not have quested. I should not have quested because I forgot about Mulan. 2, I played Stitch instead of being able to play a 3-coster. That was 3-coster. That was totally my mistake.
Now I'm threatening, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 9, 10, a bunch if he doesn't deal with my board. And even if he deals with Mulan and I can't use her, I still will have enough to win the game. Assuming he doesn't take anything else off the board.
Okay. Yeah, I totally screwed up last turn. 1, because I forgot to play the ink, so I could have played a bigger guy than Stitch. And then I also should have just not done anything with Hades because I forgot about Mulan's ability. Oh well. All right, so what we're gonna do here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. We're going to play a Hercules as an ink, and then we'll double lantern, pay 6 to get a Hades out. Now I have to be able to keep you from getting 5 next turn, right? So you got 2 here. This guy's definitely Mulan. She's definitely got to go. She got 2 health left. We'll use Stitch to go ahead and knock that out.
So he is going to be able to remove my Mulan from play with his Stitch. And he can remove 1 other card from my board. He's probably going to go for the Maleficent because it quests for 2.
Oh, I just realized I could have shifted the Hades for 6 instead of 8, but I don't have a 2 cost in hand for it to matter. Okay. Who else? This guy's got the next most. She's at 1 health left. She does 3, so she kills my Hades. That's unfortunate, but that's gonna have to happen. So we'll trade here. And that's it for me. Over to you, coach.
So I'm going to ready up my cards here and draw. And I did draw into the 8 cost red Mickey, which I'm been really trying to test out, but I haven't had a game where it would make sense to play it. So here I obviously don't have enough resources to play that Mickey, so I'm definitely thinking about putting it in my Inkwell at the end of this turn. Just in case I do draw, I suppose, a 7 cost card.
Just want everyone to know. Off screen, whooped him. He's trash. On screen, I make misplays.
All right, so now he's got to deal with 3 of my cards, which, he unfortunately for him cannot.
I don't think it's possible. I'll play a big dude though.
So he plays Gantu, which is a nice big unit, and then he passes to my turn, and I just kind of quest for a little bit.
7, 8. Yep, that's all I can do. Put this one in ink, and that's it. GG, man. GG. 20-2. Brutal.
So good game. Obviously, maybe a little bit one-sided towards the red and blue deck, but I think my opening hand was just like pretty insane, and he didn't have the right tools to deal with it. I also think maybe there were a couple of turns where if he'd held back a little bit, not allowed me to attack in with Mulan until he could play a big card like Hades or Gantu. Maybe that's a strategy that could work, but I think at the same time I had so many units that it's going to be hard for him to deal with that amount of sort of lore generation on my side throughout the whole game without dealing with those exact cards.
All right, well, GG. That was fun.
All right, so thank you guys so much for watching. We'll definitely be back with some more Lorcana content. This game is super fun. Excited about the game and trying out more decks, especially when more cards come out. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye-bye.